Good morning. Posting this to YouTube. I'm not sure which my channels I'm going to post it on. Today is April 23rd. Sitting on my porch, smoking my pipe with my dog. Today is probably the first day I've actually had a chance to actually sit down and think about everything that's going on. I mean, I've thought about it from the standpoint of from health. I've thought about it from the standpoint of politics. What it means for modern society. But today I put on my philosopher's cap and actually started thinking about this whole thing. And I live in Illinois, and they're talking about extending the shutdown for possibly into June. So there's going to be a lot of people hurting in my state when it's all said and done. Outside of the actual pandemic portion. Which, I gotta say, I'm not going to be hurting as much as a lot of people because my work supports a lot of essential businesses. I carry raw material that's used in the production of, medical supplies and food packaging. Also the automotive industry, but if anybody knows about the stuff going on in Michigan, they're not exactly turning out vehicles. So my hours have been affected, which affects my pay. But I'm not as bad off as most people. Yesterday I was listening to a podcast that most would consider extremely right-wing. But he said something that really made me start to philosophize, if that's a word. To put my philosophy cap on and really start, thinking about this a different way. And what he said was about camping, how he doesn't like camping because civilization was built basically to avoid living in a wild state. So permanent camping, basically. Which is true. Civilization was built to avoid the perils of nature to a certain extent. Because when you're a hunter and a gatherer and you go out in the savanna of Africa or thousands and thousands of years, tens of thousands of years ago, there were lions all over the place, but You go out hunting and run into a serious threat to you. And our ancestors did that. They faced some crazy stuff so you and me can be here. And to avoid camping, because that is what civilization is designed to do, is exactly why everybody should go camping. To remind ourselves that we weren't always behind these walls where almost nothing can get to us. The only predator that we fear now is other human beings. You know, 99.9% of us don't have to worry about getting eaten by a bear or a lion or tiger. You know, we built these walls to protect us from all that. Which is why we should go camping. To remind us that that's where we came from. And I say that because in the midst of this pandemic, they're talking about in Illinois, and we have not been hit that hard in the grand scheme of things. As far as pandemics go, in history, this one seems fairly mild to this point. I'm not saying the lockdown measures weren't necessary. But we're trying to avoid dealing with this at all when you're talking about extending it into June. And that's not going to work. Because when we do finally come out, we're going to be dealing with this still. And if it goes on too long, I worry about the mental health of a lot of people who can't go out and work. You know, that aren't, they don't qualify for Social Security and everything, and they can't go out and work. You know, because it's more than a monetary thing. It's going to start screwing with people's heads. But I scroll Facebook every once in a while, and there's a lot of political BS and gotchas on there. And, blame this person, blame that person. And a lot of people freaking out that people want to, reopen parts of the economy. And let's get this straight. No one is saying go out and party and, rub up on each other. No one's saying that. Everybody's saying be smart, be responsible, but we can't keep doing this indefinitely. And part of philosophy, going back to the philosophy of this whole thing that I've been thinking about today. And I'm off work today, so that's why I'm able to sit here and think about this. Part of philosophy is coming to grips with your own mortality. Because a lot of people spend their lives avoiding the fact that they are going to die one day. Could be tomorrow, could be next week, could be happening now. Well, we're all in the process of dying. If you're above the age of 25. Because there's two human modes. You're either growing or you're dying. Some people do both at the same time. But most of us are dying as we speak. That's just the facts. Whether you got coronavirus or not. And as a society, right now, we are avoiding facing the fact of our own mortality. That's what's happening right now with these endless lockdown orders. Is we can't sit there and tell people, yeah, some of you are going to die. Sounds harsh. But it's just, I mean, we are literally all going to die. Whether it's this or something else. And again, I'm not saying put yourself at risk unnecessarily. But putting food on your table is kind of a necessity that, you know, most of us have to live with. But I'm not an expert, obviously. I'm a truck driver who likes to think. But as a society, we literally have forgotten where we've come from. We have forgotten. I don't know how many of you all are on Facebook, but I keep seeing this meme. And it's a picture of a farmer plowing a field and planting. And the caption reads, I don't know why farmers insist on growing food when most of us just go to Kroger and Walmart. And that meme says something about us and who we are. You know, because we don't understand how the world actually works, because we've lived our entire lives behind this artificial wall designed to keep the dangers away. And when we forget why those walls are there, those dangers are going to creep up on us. And sometimes you just gotta buck up and live your life. And not be afraid. And part of that is understanding, yeah, you're gonna die. If you get this coronavirus, you're most likely not gonna die unless you have a serious medical issue. From what I understand, those are the facts. Unless you have a serious medical issue, you're probably going to be fine. But you are going to die one day. Sorry to tell you that. I'm going to die one day. I hope it's a long time from now, but I could get hit by a bus. A bus could come down and, run into this porch right now and kill me. I live with that knowledge every day. So do you. So does everybody else. Like I said, I know this sounds crass, but none of our walls, none of our civilization, nothing can change the fact that yes, you are going to die. Might be coronavirus, might be something else. But if we paralyze society just for the fact that some people are going to die because of this virus. And again, I think it was the right choice in the beginning. But the longer it goes on, the less helpful it is. And it's becoming increasingly less helpful. It's not about haircuts, it's about dignity. And like I said, I'm just tired of this nanny state stuff, to be honest with you. But that's just my 2 cents. And you know, I know I rambled a little bit and kind of went hither and yon. I hope something I said made sense, and hope somebody got something out of it. So, well, I appreciate you listening. Have a good one.